Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome back to the At Home Film Festival. And I'm welcoming myself back from New York. I just spent a week there, and I am going to celebrate New York through movies. Yes. I'm not going to, unfortunately, be able to show New York, New York, a very underrated gem in my opinion, because it's not available to stream anywhere. So sorry, Liza, Robert De Niro, and Martin Scorsese. I can't really talk more about this film, but let's watch it as a moment as we go to figure out what other New York movies we could see. Let's take a look now, okay? Let's go. Well, you have to have a Robert De Niro movie for sure when you talk about New York, and I have chosen Taxi Driver. It's not as underrated as New York, New York, the movie musical, but it is a little underrated back in the day, even though it's more appreciated now. It was up for Best Picture and Best Actor, but I don't know why Scorsese wasn't up for Director. But still, you could be able to enjoy this movie on Netflix and see the grittiness of New York through the eyes of Robert De Niro, who plays a taxi driver at night. He's a little mentally disturbed, and you get to see things compound and build on him until he reaches his breaking point. You also get to see the many slimy characters he drives around in the evening, including poor young Jodie Foster, who was up for an Oscar, where she's a child prostitute. Really, really great movie. You could see it on Netflix and listen to the score as you're watching it. But I do enjoy Taxi Driver, and it was brought back to mind from my young friend Isaiah, who was recently wearing a t-shirt of this, and I forgot I hadn't seen this for years and what a great movie it is, so we are featuring it here. So also, thank you, Isaiah. At the other end of the spectrum, we have a farcical 1960s romp with Jane Fonda. I've talked about it before, Sunday in New York, but this movie is about to leave HBO, so I wanted to give you one more chance where she plays a more forward-thinking young woman in the 60s who may want to have sex with her boyfriend. So she goes to New York to ask her brother, a pilot played by Cliff Robertson, and he says we should all keep our virtues. But you know what? He is having sex with everybody in the air, on the ground. And in the meantime, in her little trip to New York, she meets the super sexy, hot Rod Taylor. They literally get stuck to each other, and just adds to the fun in this film. Please check it out before it leaves HBO, A Sunday in New York. Now let's go back to the 50s with The Sweet Smell of Success. Wow, speaking of underrated great movies, this movie with Tony Curtis and Bert Lancaster is so wonderful and a little gritty for the 50s, where Tony plays a press agent. So how does a press agent get in a gritty movie? Well, he's doing whatever he can to make Bert Lancaster, the columnist, write stories about his clients. And Bert has really got the clout that everybody wants. And this movie is so good. You could rent it for a few dollars or catch it free on Pluto. And by the way, since I was just in New York, this was once a musical, not like around the same time the movie came out decades later with John Lithgow, but it's a great story that needs to be seen, told, and heard. Now back to the romantic side of Kevin. Serendipity gets me every time. It shows New York and its beauty. They go to Serendipity 3, they ice skate. New York is so pretty in the winter, unless you're outside without a coat. But I love this lush movie. My roommate actually hates it, but she was born without a heart, so I can understand that. But this has John Cusack, who meets Kate Beckinsale, and they decide that the only way to stay together or ever get together is if it's through fate and kismet. So if they ever meet again, it's because it was meant to be. So we have to find out, will they meet again? The only way to find that out is to watch it on Showtime. I love Fame. This was so good. It became a TV series. It was up for many Oscars. It should have also been up for Best Supporting Actress for Ann Mira, who you could tell a movie's great when a comedian does a really dramatic role. It's about the high school for the performing arts. I think I bought it on Amazon for just like $5. You could rent it for even less. And this movie won an Oscar for Best Song, and that song, it's so jubilant. In fact, let's give it a listen, shall we? I wanna live forever. I'm gonna learn how to fly. I feel it coming together. People will see me. Bring us up, 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 bring us up. Curry directed a movie. Did you know that? And it was good. And he's in it too. It's called Quick Change, where three good friends come up with this great plot in New York to rob a bank. Plans go great, it seems. They have all these different funny, interesting ways to actually get away with it, and it involves clowns, it involves humor, it involves car chases, and it involves great looks at New York. So watch this with me. Few dollars on Amazon, quite worth it. If you're counting, this is the 7th movie, but I'm going to kind of do 2 real quick because they should be seen together. The Prince of the City on Prime for a few dollars is a very underrated Sidney Lumet film, or Sidney Lumet, with Treat Williams as a police person who goes undercover in the narcotics world and gets a little too tough for him. So, he has really a lot of trouble dealing with this. Jerry Orbach should have been up for his very first and only Oscar, but he wasn't. He got 1 nomination, but it's really, really good. And this movie should be seen with Al Pacino and Serpico. You have to have an Al Pacino when you're focusing on New York. I had so many great choices, but I thought this would be a good double feature with Prince of the City, because Al plays a cop, and he was Oscar nominated in this movie, Serpico, by the way, available on Showtime. He thinks he's doing the right thing because the police force is corrupt, but guess what? They really don't care, so it actually works against him for doing the right thing. So sad. What a great performance. One of his many, many wonderful performances are up for Oscars. You must watch Serpico, and if you had time that same day, The Prince of the City. Good double bill. Well, that's our show of the week. Thanks for tuning in. I've enjoyed New York. Let's leave with a little more Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. I hope you share. Yes, I'm talking to you. Subscribe.
Who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
Yes!
I'm the only one here.
And me too. Anyway, come back next week and let's...
Who do you think you're talking to?
And actually, I'm getting a little scared of Robert De Niro, so I'm going to say goodbye. Subscribe, share, and comment, please. Oh, my... Oh, okay.